Okay, so now you've learned about your thinking and advisor, noticer, or your skills at experiencing life and sensing them, and also pausing and not reacting to your strong feelings. And now we're ready to get to discover. And this one's a really fun skill, but can be distressing because discovery is about exploring with trial and error behavior, finding out. So easy way to think of discovery is any skill you try and develop, you're often doing it through trial and error. You try something, the ball goes in, it doesn't go in, you get feedback and you get better. But this is what makes discovery kind of challenging. And that is, so your advisor is always on your shoulder and its job is to keep you safe. Remember, it's a don't get eaten machine. And so it's trying to help you avoid trial and error mistakes. Don't go near that bush, there's a snake there. Right? So it's super duper useful, except that reasoning has its limitations. The advisor wants to predict and control everything, and words just can't do it. You just don't know. Like there's some things that you have to get through trial and error experience. And that's the first skill we're going to talk about with Discover is exploring your yearnings. Now you can think that, oh, would I enjoy learning a musical instrument? And you can try and reason about it and think about it. But there's only one way you're going to know if you enjoy learning a musical instrument, and that's to go and do it. See, a lot of people who want to be writers, they talk a lot about writing, but they've never actually gone and done the, sitting for 8 hours a day or whatever it is to write and seeing if they actually like it, because maybe they don't. So our advisor is making predictions and doing things like that, but our advisor, you have to remember, is very limited and narrow. It's usually just based on past experience. So, for example, if you've been in relationship after relationship and it ended up in a breakup, right? Which is always true before you find your soulmate or your lifelong partner, then your advisor is going to say relationships are a waste of time because every single experience in the past hasn't worked. So maybe there's something wrong with you. Maybe you're not good at relationships. You have to understand that this is what the advisor does. It just bases on the past. And if you only listen to your advisor, you're trapped by the past. So in Discovery, we're going to learn how to use trial and error experience. We're going to almost just carry that advisor with us as it's saying, don't make a mistake, don't make a mistake. And we're going to deliberately allow ourselves the chance of making mistakes. So Discover is much more bumbling trial and error. An example is how I developed my exercise routine. So I was pretty inactive and I kind of got to a place a lot of people get to where you're just not doing anything. You're sitting at a desk job all day. And I wanted to try and discover some new activities. Well, my advisor suggested the obvious things, go to the gym, right? The way I found what I actually do was mostly through trial and error bumbling. So I went to the gym. The gym was okay, but it wasn't really exciting me much. I tried biking. But I thought that would be awesome. My advisor made it sound really awesome, but it just didn't quite work for me. I didn't like getting run off the road by cars and it wasn't that enjoyable to me. And so through a series of stumbling steps, I started taking my kids to martial arts and I decided to give that a try. And there wasn't any deliberate thing I could have predicted, but that turned out that was the thing I loved. And through the experiencing of life, that drew me towards my passion, my value, what I cared about. And so I just want you to see this as an example of kind of stumbling. You don't necessarily know where you're going or where you're going to end up. You have to try a lot of things and see what happens next. And trust that your advisor doesn't always have all the answers.